Good almost afternoon, friends. I am again putting away cards from a card class that I just hosted the other night, and I wanted to show you this quick and easy card that we made using the Bright Borders Stampin' Up! Stamp set, and then also the punch that the name escapes me. I'll put it in the comments later. I should have known that. I should have checked really quick before I got on here, but I didn't, so bear with me. Anyway, quick card. We are using just a very few supplies. We've got some Moody Mauve. I believe that's what it is. Let's look. I'm so bad about remembering names. Bubble Bath. And yes, Moody Mauve ink and the same color in paper. And then we've got some really fun gems also that we're going to use. And I'm going to grab those. I forgot that I put those away. I was a little ahead of myself. Anyway, very few supplies. And I am going to answer comments later simply because my setup right now is not allowing me to see comments. It's not that I can't see them, it's that I'm not tall enough to see the phone and do what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got some Moody Mauve. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. That's our card base. And then we have some Bubble Bath, and that should be 4 by 5 1/2, but let's just double check that. It's 4 by 5 1/4. So 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have another piece of basic white, and that is also 4 by 5 1/4. That is actually going to go onto the inside of our card. And then I have a piece of Moody Mauve ribbon, and that is that comes in our. Let's see if you can see it. It's called. It actually probably has a fancy name. I don't know for sure what it is, but anyway, it's the Moody Mauve ribbon, and I just cut a piece that's probably about 4 3/4, just so it can wrap around our paper. Then I have a piece of this really pretty paper that is from our celebration paper that you can get with a qualifying order, and it is called Bloom Impressions. And I'm telling you what, this paper is so pretty. There's lots of different prints and designs, and I think you're going to really like it. I'm trying to correct that English and quit saying gonna. Anyway, and this is, I believe, 4 by 4. Yeah, 4 by 4, and that's just going to go on the front, or I mean on the front, excuse me. Okay, let's set some of this aside. And you see how I did this one? I may use a different sentiment just because I have this card now. I don't need a lot of this particular card, although thank you cards are always handy. And I'm going to think I might even use, no, I love this side. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to do a little bit of adhering some of the base. I like to get some of that done and kind of out of my way. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the liquid adhesive. Use what you like. I like the liquid adhesive because it gives me a little room to scooch things around and play before it sticks down, just so that I can make sure things are lined up the way I want them. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got that. So that's kind of done and out of my way. Now I want to just start with a little bit of stamping. And I have several different, I've got this little piece. I'm not sure exactly what its size is. It's just enough to fit in the punch. So just use a scrap and just what you think you need. And then I've got a couple of clear blocks here to do our stamping. Again, you could mount both of your stamps at the same time if you're going to use the same color. I am not going to use the same color, and I think I'm going to use a different border this time, simply because I've already used the one border, and why not switch it up a little bit, right? And I'm going to do that border in the Bubble Bath. And no, there's nothing wrong with my ink pad. For some reason, it just picked that, picked up some of the images. I thought that was really interesting. And I'm going to go ahead, and you see this is a brand new stamp. I have not used it yet, so I am going to just grab a piece of scrap paper and stamp off one time so that I know that it's kind of got some nice, no, or I shouldn't say nice, it has no flaws, let's just say. Sometimes they get little flaws, and then you're like, oh, I didn't want little flaws. And that's a little bit crooked, but I don't think it's going to be a problem because it's going to be punched anyway. I'm going to set that aside. I'm leaving that color out for just a moment because I want to take and I want to pull out those little flowers right there. And I'm just going to stamp in the inside for my card inside. And I'm not going to put any words in there yet because I don't know what I want to say. And I'm going to stamp just in the two corners. I don't want to stamp all of the corners. You could if you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and close that and get it out of our way. And then I'm going to take the Moody Mauve, and I think I want this one to say, "So happy for you." I actually can use that. My granddaughter just recently won a dance competition for her solo performance, and I'm really proud of her. She has practiced and worked so hard. Again, this is a new one. I just want to make sure that it's going to stamp nicely. My mother would not be impressed with me today, or my grandmother. That's all right. And I will just put that in the center there. And I don't know that it necessarily needs to be perfectly straight. And the reason I say that is because sometimes I turn my sentiments a little bit anyway. So I don't think that's the end of the world. I want to go ahead and mount my inside piece in the inside of the card. Again, I use multi-purpose glue. I was going to call it green glue, but really it's not green. It has a green lid. I just always say use the adhesive that you like the best. We all tend to have that one adhesive that we really like. I'm going to show you a little trick because this is cut a little small. Well, I was going to show you a little trick. I don't have the what I need out, but that's okay. I'm going to slide this in. Oh, I've got room. Sometimes if you don't have enough room and you can't get a nice punch, lined up, then you can always use like a Post-it note or something like that. And that's good where that's at. I'm going to give that a punch. And I'm going to bet my dog left the room and went to the basement because she absolutely detests the punches. I don't understand, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to take a small punch. This is just one I have. It's just a paper punch with a little tiny dot. And I'm going to go ahead and put that punch there so I have that ready. So now, just to go assemble the card, I'm going to use a little bit of the Stampin' Seal on the back, kind of the top edge on both sides here, just to adhere my ribbon. So I'm going to come around the back, and you don't need to wrap it clear around. One, it gives it a lot of bulk that you don't need, and two, it's a waste of ribbon that you're never, you're never going to see it, so there's no reason to, wrap it clear around unless you want to. All right, and we got that wrapped around there, and then you want to do that first before you adhere that to your card front. And again, I get my trusty favorite adhesive. As I was saying, adhesive can be kind of divisive. We all have our favorites and we all have the ones we don't like. So go with what you like and what you're comfortable with. I know I have several people that come to my classes that are not fans of the glue because they get it all over themselves, and I can feel for them. And I like the glue, like I said, because it gives me a little time to adjust if I don't get things down straight. All right, now I have some twine here, and it's the white. I'm going to take it through my ribbon right here, and I'm going to tie it in a knot because I want that to kind of have a crinkle. Now, you may need 2 fingers. The other night, I needed extras. Sometimes you can use your take your pick tool, and sometimes the ribbon will cooperate. Thankfully, today it's cooperating. I did leave a little bit of a tail because I am going to want to tie a bow through my tag. And I think that's probably plenty. Now, if you don't want your ribbon to move around, I don't think it's going to, but I did have a lady the other night at my card class that wanted to put some glue dots under hers because she wasn't liking the way hers was laying, which, hey, that's the beautiful thing, is we all get to do our own thing. Then I like to, instead of just tying it into a bow and hoping for the best, I do like to just give it a little, kind of a little knot, because I find for me, you may have terrific luck, but I find it holds my bow more centered if I just take that extra step to tie that knot. Now, sometimes your twine can curl on you, so if you can hold your little ears with your fingers or something like that, you have less twisting of the thread itself. And then you can just determine where you want your bow, your thread to go. This one seems like it's going to hang really nicely, which is nice. And then I have these adhesive backed pearl trio. These all lend themselves really well to just adding a little tiny bit of sparkle, which, I mean, don't we all like sparkle? And then I'm going to use my take your pick tool here, and I'm trying to decide which one I want. You know, there is a lot of the little bit more kind of peachy pie color, so I'm going to use that. Put that there, and put that there. Now, I also want to mention that this die is, not only does it go with the bright borders, but there is another stamp set that it goes with, and I do want to grab my catalog just really quickly so that I can tell you what other stamp set it does go with, so you know that, oh, I bet it's in the celebration. Okay, it goes with bright borders, and the punch is called To the Point label. So let's just look here really quickly in the celebration brochure, just because I want to make sure you know. I know I saw it with another, maybe it's with a Valentine one. I'm just trying to remember, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I'll put that in the comments as well. That way you will know. So To the Point label, punch, and then you see how we actually got 2 different cards just with our words and a couple different colors. But again, I didn't want to create the exact same card because I needed it for something different. I hope that you will put together a quick and easy card trying one of these. Again, just let the paper do all of the work with a little bit of stamping. Thanks so much for taking your time and spending it with me.